Thank you, Susan, for introducing me. Hi, I'm Toshko, and I'm a master gardener. I have been gardening, especially vegetables, more than 20 years. I have rented the community garden plot from Fairfax County Park Authority. And I enjoy gardening, but also have had a lot of errors, so I can show you some errors and then learn stuff. I can tell more practical than more knowledge basis. So today's cool season vegetables, I have a lot of experience for some good result and bad result. Susan, can you turn to the next? Yes. What is cool season vegetables? There are vegetables, one are cool season vegetables and then warm season vegetables. Warm season vegetables are basically during the summertime harvest and stuff like tomatoes and eggplant, corns, etc. And I can show these kind of the difference. And then the big difference cool season vegetables and the warm season vegetables are planted and then harvested only once a year. Comparing with warm season vegetables, cool season vegetables, we can harvest at least 2, maybe 3 times a year. So that's a big difference. And then the first ones to plant in the garden year. So we have been really excited to plant because after winter, but the problem is during that cool season to warm season, especially around this area, we don't have so much long time. So that this harvest time will become the warm season, and then some vegetables don't like this warm season. So that has really problems. How we can avoid these, errors, or if we are late to plant, we don't get a good result. That is a really kind of problems. Next, please. That the cool season vegetables are planting and then growing in late winter, early spring, and in late summer, autumn, and then early winter. So there are 2 times in the fall time if we are lucky to harvest. And then temperature is between 40 degree to 70 degree. That is they like it. Some of them are tolerated even under 28 or 29 degrees. That's below freezing. And then they don't care. And then they are really some of them are really cold. Cool season vegetables there are 2 types of vegetables. Can you say to next, please? Yeah, that probably that the next I went to too fast. Can you put to next, please? Yeah, there are hard crops and then semi-hardy crops for cool season vegetables. So you can see hardy crops is between 25 and 28, and then semi-hardy is 29 to 32 degrees. So you can check these differences and then you can enjoy because of some of them like some warm weather, and then some of them they don't care really. They don't care about any cold weather, like we had some that cold temperature like 28 or 22 degrees 2 weeks ago. And then I can see some vegetables I have are still okay. They are so tolerate. And then actually during that cold weather, they can make more kind of sweet, what called is they have a sweet kind of, really part of that vegetable. So vegetable itself is getting better taste. Can you just turn back again? Just quick. Yes. So planting time is that we are hardiness zone for 7A. So we have first fall frost around October 20th, and then last spring frost is April 20th. It means we can plant during this season time. But on the other hand, it's not a lot of time for us to plant and then harvest. The one reason is the problem I have had is warm season vegetables stayed in our vegetable garden. It means we have problems to plant where we plant and then prepare these plants. We have to think about very carefully about how many days to maturity. If you pick up really long maturity seeds or plants, you cannot get the harvest before the frost or warmest time comes. So you will not get a good result. And then usually cool season vegetables are required directly from seed in the garden instead of plant in the house or inside and then transplant the plants, because the big reason is during the change of the season has warm time and then cold time, and then just like, just sometimes like bounce back. Like a couple weeks ago, we had 28 degrees, and then now we had 60 degrees. And then it is not easy for the transplant plant. If we do transplant, bad timing, it kills it so easily. So that the seeding from the garden is much easier to adjust. That is another reason. And then also another thing is bolting. It's caused that if cool season vegetables get warmer temperature, they rapidly produce flowers and then seeds. This is big. The best example is lettuce. Lettuce is totally growing so fast and then so tall whenever the temperature rise up. And then just starting seeding. So we cannot harvest good lettuce anymore. Next, please. And the next, one more. Thank you. So I can tell that the examples of cabbage. Cabbage is a good example to transplanting. So we can seed inside, and then germination time is 10 to 12 days. And germination temperature needs a little bit warm. So we can plant inside and then transplant. So, or you can buy these plant from nursery and then transplant, and then that's really successful and easy to do that. And another reason is days to maturity is long usually. So you have to check this maturity time. How many days do you need? So next, please. Next example is lettuce. Lettuce can be planted directly from that outside the ground, and then germination time is 7 to 10 days, and then germination temperature is a little bit lower than the cabbage, but still warm. And but the days maturity is 40 to 90 days. Usually, like I think less than 40 days. Especially if you buy leaf lettuce, you can have like 20, 30 days, and then you can harvest. You don't need to harvest the whole plant, but there's 2, 3 leaves at a time. You can enjoy these lettuce. Next, please. So what you need to do is there is a recommendation planting and the harvest date. You can download this paper from the extension for the Virginia Tech Extension website. And then you can see where is that, which plant you want to, and when you can start. And then these are kind of examples. And then, but for instance, right now it's March 2nd, and then what you can start is kale already. You can start from right now. It's okay to outside, but the problem is soil itself is still frozen. So you can start seeding inside and then transfer plant. That is totally fine for kale. Okay, next, please. One question is I'm asked is companion plants. That the companion plants, I usually don't care so much, but the only thing I care is the peas and then garlic and the onions. They don't like each other. You can see other stuff and then carrot and then tomatoes, somehow they like each other. You can see these kind of companion plants many places in the online, and then sometimes not so easy because of some conflict. Another things I need to check with is potatoes. Potatoes are not usually good with other vegetables. So if you plan to have potatoes, you need to plant with totally different places. And then also potatoes are recommended to plant after St. Patrick's Day. That usually, will have a good success. And the other thing is, for instance, tomatoes or other things with herbs, that makes really good, easy way to, prevent the pest. So I can recommend you to plant some vegetables with some herbs next to each other. That prevent that a lot of pest and then disease. Next, please. Okay, I can show you these pictures are from my vegetable gardens. This is how you can transfer this plant. That is really key, I found, and the most difficult to do that because of, we plan to have many vegetables to harvest, but our places are limited. And then also that the companion plants kind of things. So for instance, I have strawberries, that the right side picture is strawberries I have there. And then have a really kind of a corner of that one. And that reason is some plants don't like strawberries. So I just put the, kind of a corner on. And then that is, left picture says, can see, you might not see very well, but the broccoli is that right left side center, and then there's a net here, greens already that harvesting, and then next to net, and then that there's sticks. I planted the cucumbers. Cucumbers are still small, but there's I'm harvesting this greens, and then next to the cucumber you cannot see. I planted the radish. Radish is here, the other side. And then the far away is eggplant. Next, please. And this is summertime. You cannot see very well, but these are all like corns and then that squash and then tomatoes and then eggplant and then cucumbers, the other side. And then that I can see some radish is kind of a shade part of that cucumbers and then that is eggplant area. Next, please. This is late summer, September. So you can see many vegetables are kind of die down. And then that time I planted another plant for that as greens. And I cannot show very well, but there's also I have flowers are blooming there. So you can see that there's how to change, and then that is kind of a key to successful to transplant for whole year. Next, please. And this is a date November. You cannot see anything, but there's this front side has onions and then cabbages and then kales are planted, and then that far away is greens are there, and then radish, and then beets are actually there. And the preparing soil for next season is very important to be successful. That I found soil is the most important, not putting fertilizer or plant food or calcium, but as preparing and then try to get rest for that during that winter time. So that is my kind of plan for that my vegetable garden. Next, please. Okay, and if you cannot plant very well, this is kind of alternative. I found it's successful. You can put vegetables with flower garden. This is my front yard, totally different places. So I can enjoy potatoes here. So I don't need to worry about any other vegetables to, conflict. And then that garlic is goes with very well with potatoes, and then spring onions there. And so, and then this is arugula is here. And then that goes with other flowers very well. So you can think about if you have enough sunshine, that is okay about vegetables. And then you can just plant between these flowers. People don't notice these vegetables so much. And then this is kind of a new trend nowadays. Here on the left side picture shows up roses. Behind the roses has a snow pea that is a white flower. And then these are already bolting because of that kind of late July or something. And then broccoli is yellow flower there. And then so you can see that the azaleas are blooming there. So this might be late June, early July kind of things. These azaleas are kind of late blooming. So next, please. So these are kind of stories. I can, answer any other questions, but these are references. You can see this information. That kind of